Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of WP the podcast. I'm Tim Streifler, and my co-host David Blackman is traveling. He is at some Airstream conference in Maine, and so it's just going to be me flying solo for a little bit longer. But I have some awesome episodes continuously being planned, so hopefully if you don't mind listening to just my voice, you'll still be able to enjoy the podcast. So um, today we're talking about my bookkeeping process and why I don't outsource it. And so bookkeeping is one of those things that people will typically outsource. They'll outsource it to whether it's strictly a bookkeeper or their CPA or whoever. And because it's really boring. It's not fun. It's not sexy. And a lot of times people think that their time is better spent elsewhere. And while I am definitely a big proponent of outsourcing different tasks in general, like for example, I will never do my own taxes. That is definitely best done by a professional. However, bookkeeping, first of all, it's pretty easy when you have the good process, and I'm going to share my process in a little bit. But also, as web designers, we don't have a ton of transactions like other types of businesses would have, and so I find that it's more helpful to do it myself for a couple of reasons. Mainly, I want to see every dollar that goes through my business. And the way I see that is by having to manually approve everything and make sure it's properly categorized in my bookkeeping software, right? And so, and kind of going along with that, I want to have a very deep focus on profit, right? So many maybe not web designers, but online business owners I see out there that are usually trying to sell something, some sort of program or whatever. They always brag about revenue, and this is typically companies that are selling something through paid advertising, right? And really, revenue, knowing someone's revenue, is almost pointless unless you know what their profit is, what they actually made from that, right? You might have $10 million worth of revenue, but if you're spending $9,900,000 to get that 10 million in revenue, well, you're not really doing all that hot with other costs on top of that too. So by doing bookkeeping myself and looking at all of the transactions that are going through, all of my expenses, I can analyze on a monthly basis where I'm spending money and whether or not I need to continue spending money. And so if I don't do that, then the bookkeeper just constantly, approves the transactions and categorizes them into the bookkeeping software. And then you don't really have a chance to really go through everything. Maybe if you run reports and you kind of look at it that way. But I find when you do the bookkeeping yourself, you're constantly reminded of those charges, and you can stop them rather than having to wait until you get to the year mark when you're looking at all your numbers for the year or whatever. And so that's my advice. Do the bookkeeping yourself. It's easy. My process is I use QuickBooks Online. They make it super, super easy. And so once you kind of get the chart of accounts set up of, the different categories and stuff, then you can, what I find kind of my process is I just do things in bulk, right? So it's like if I'm paying for like Google ads, right? I run a lot of Google ads for my product business. Well, I can just do a search for Google and see all of the transactions for all of Google all at once, and then I can approve them in bulk all at once and make sure they get categorized properly. And then maybe I have all my income coming from Stripe, right? Online payments. Well, I can go and search Stripe, pull them all up, and then within a minute I can approve all of the Stripe transactions all at once, and those all get categorized the same way. And so all of those kind of more repetitive transactions, you can just squash really, really quickly. And so doing your bookkeeping doesn't take more than 30 minutes a month when you follow that process, but it still allows you to kind of look at everything, see everything that you have coming in, those individual charges that you have to manually approve. You're able to see it and squash it if it's something that no longer needs to be there. So that is my process for bookkeeping and why I don't outsource it. That's just my opinion, the way I like to do things. If you're someone who likes to outsource and you're still able to stay ultra profitable, then more power to you. So tune into tomorrow's episode. We're going to be talking about how to design simple images without using Photoshop. And it's not what you think. I'm just going to say that right there. So until then, take care. Bye-bye.